Hello, everyone. This is Isabella from Angel Chantress Love. I wanted to jump out here really quick and talk about the energy of Mr. Magoo and the Enraged Prime Demon. So Mr. Magoo, for those of you who don't know, was a cartoon a long time ago about a wealthy man who was eccentric and practically blind, but he would get into all these predicaments in life that were somewhat dangerous and sometimes life-threatening, but the universe always stepped in and protected him. So the guides are equating the journey of the light workers right now to Mr. Magoo, as we're just dodging the bullets as they're coming at us. So in the cartoon, Mr. Magoo would be walking along and all of a sudden a piece of scaffolding would come up and he'd walk onto it, and then he'd be way up in the air and just about to step off into oblivion when another piece of scaffolding would magically appear in front of him and create this bridge to his next step. So the guides are showing a field of landmines, and they're saying that as you're trying to navigate through these landmines, even though you can't see very far in front of you, like Mr. Magoo, that they have you and they're protecting you. But they need you to connect in, and they want you to listen really closely. There's a lot of distractions on the planet, and they really need you to listen. You know, if you're sitting in a parking lot and you feel like you need to sit there for 2 more minutes, even though you're going to be late for that meeting, sit there and wait because they're trying to guide you. And if you pay attention, you may notice there's like a car wreck on the way to the meeting that you would have been in if you'd left 2 minutes before. Many of the directions will not make a lot of sense at the time, but you'll come to understand that they were important. They're trying to instruct you, so listen to what the people around you are saying, rebuke any negative energies that you see rising up. I've had a lot of people walking up to me and saying stuff that I'm refusing to take into my energy field, like someone telling me that my front door is unlocked when they came over, even though my guides cued me to double check it before I went to sleep that night. Or the lady at the store who was like encouraging me to get help from an attendant so I didn't hurt my back, even though I was perfectly fine lifting the item by myself. So there's a lot of fear-mongering energy in that. People are projecting onto you, either because of their own fear or to keep you in a state of anxiety and fear. So just recognize and rebuke these energies in the moment and do what you can to encourage and uplift them and send them lots of love and light. So what the guides are showing me around this Mr. Magoo energy is there's this prime demon, and he's really huge. His body's all red, and usually I see them as more black, but this one is actually all red. So these demonic beings are projecting this fear through people around you. And if you try to be kind and not rebuke the energy with these unawakened people, you can actually unintentionally agree to accept the energy. So be very careful with how you choose to respond. Some people are very good at phrasing things so that you'll agree with them. So this particular demon's name is Somoth. So we're going to bind this demon because the guides say that it's connected to the energy of sacrifice. I'm getting that the energy of human sacrifice is being dispelled from the planet at this time. So what I experienced was I had gone to bed the night before and closed down my laptop and put it on a shelf near me. And when I woke up in the morning, there was what my guides were calling graveyard dirt on top of my laptop. Now, if someone had physically put this on my computer, they would have literally had to climb over my body without me noticing to get to it. So there's a very powerful energy at work here for objects to manifest in the physical. So I cleaned the spell work up, both energetically and physically. But then when I went to leave the house, I washed and filled up my travel mug, and I got in my car. And then as I was driving down the road, I looked over at my travel mug. I saw that there was graveyard dirt on top of it, which wasn't there when I left the house. So I just launched these purification spells on my channel the night before, and 2 of them were corrupted, and so I was unable to launch those for you yesterday. One was work connections, including online businesses on your computer, which are still apparently under attack, and the other one was the vehicle purification that I was unable to launch. And the graveyard dirt didn't show up on my travel mug until I got into my vehicle. which was still unprotected. So be very aware of how the energies are playing out, as the graveyard dirt is a symbol of witchcraft, where someone is sacrificing another for power through demonic forces. This was also the day that the emergency broadcast signal went out to everyone's electronic equipment. So some of the light workers are saying that it carries a frequency of fear, not just because it's an emergency signal and it contains fear-mongering energy, but it actually carries a frequency relating to fear. So what I did during the time of the transmission was to shut off all of my electronics, and I went for a walk in the woods and was just talking to my guides and meditating. And then I decided to plunge Asna's sword of truth into the planet. Asna is an aspect of Mother God. So after that, I plunged my sword, as I'm also a spiritual warrior, into the planet, and I invoked all of the angel warriors as well as the light worker warriors that are on the planet at this time to do the same. Then I was shown a vision of this beautiful wave of white light energy rolling across the planet, almost like a fog. So that energy is meant to dispel some of that fear frequency for people and to shift them. Because there's a lot of people who are still asleep. They're still stuck in these energy patterns and these fourth dimensional implanted devices that keep them trapped and unaware of what's going on energetically. So I wanted to send out some extra protection for everyone today. So we're going to go ahead and dispel any death spells on the light workers. Olamaka, Olamakaina. Eyamakano, Olamakai, Amase, Olamosano, Alamekaona, Alamekano, Yamakai Tosalmeano, Olamea. So I'm going to go ahead and recreate the purification spell for the work connections and the purification of vehicles that you may drive, yours or company vehicles or whatever. And I'll get those out to you as quickly as possible. My vehicle in particular has been heavily under attack lately and has been gently bumped a few times since my guides were protecting me and I was placing protection around myself. It didn't hit me like it was hitting those around me who actually got into accidents. But there was actually a lady in the parking lot whose car I was walking behind when she started backing out, which was fine as I had plenty of room to walk behind her. So I don't know if she saw me in her rearview mirror and freaked out and hit the gas instead of the brake or what, but she definitely tried to plow me over with her car. So just be really careful out there and put extra protection around yourself if you're feeling any energies that feel off. As the fairies always say, if it feels wrong, it probably isn't right. So definitely pay attention to your guides and all of those little intuitive urges you get throughout the day and really listen to them because they're trying to guide you safely through all these minefields. So let's go ahead and bind and vanquish the demon Somoth. So I see Mother and Father God standing on either side of me, making sure that this gets handled appropriately. They say this demon has been around since the time of the biblical giants. So we're actually going to be doing a binding on the giants as well, as they were said to have actually blocked the path to the promised land. I actually got attacked by a giant that an online scammer was channeling. He tried to get me to pay him a bunch of money and I denied him, which made him really angry. And he came through in a dream that night, and this enraged giant he was channeling tried to throw the cab of a semi-truck at me. And my high self came through really powerfully and deflected that, along with myself throwing up like a force field. So I will do a shorts video on this energy as well. But I just wanted to jump out here and get this energy cleared up for you. Hopefully this helps clear your path a bit. I'm sending you lots of love and blessings.